Bomb! Arsenal confirms. They already have a bid ready for a world-class striker outperforming Mo Salah. Find out who it is. Meanwhile, Wright slams Arsenal's £27 million player after poor performances. Another big day for Arsenal, and if you carry this club in your heart like we do, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because every victory, every signing, every heartbreak, we live it all together. Let's jump into today's news. Arsenal are expected to have a big transfer window this summer with several incoming expected. The last two transfer windows were disappointing for the club. They only made 2 signings in the summer, Riccardo Calafiori and Mikel Merino. Arsenal then saw their sporting director Edu leave the role mid-season, which had an impact on the January transfer window as well. Despite the urgency of signing a new striker due to the injury crisis, the club failed to back Mikel Arteta, which eventually impacted Arsenal's title charge as Liverpool ran away with it. But with Andre Berta being appointed as the new sporting director, the club is expected to bolster several positions this summer with a new striker seen as a priority for Arsenal. While Alexander Isak has been strongly linked with a move to the Gunners, he is seen as an unrealistic target by the Athletic journalist David Ornstein, who has instead named 2 other strikers on Arsenal's radar. According to Ornstein, Sporting Lisbon star Victor Gyokeres and RB Leipzig attacker Benjamin Sesko are 2 players that the club are keeping eyes on ahead of the summer. Speaking to NBC Sports, he also dismissed the links with Isak, Victor Osimhen, and others, labeling it unrealistic. He said, Arsenal will also look to strengthen an attack. Players such as Victor Gyokeres of Sporting Lisbon, Benjamin Sesko on the radar. Don't think Alexander Isak is going to be realistic, nor the likes of Victor Osimhen and any other names you hear swirling around. While he is also linked with Manchester United, the Gunners have emerged as the most serious candidate to sign him. In fact, it has been reported that Arsenal are preparing a bid for Gyokeres by the end of the summer. Not only is Andre Berta keen on signing him, it is also reported that Gyokeres is extremely keen on a move to Arsenal as well. Victor Gyokeres has produced even better numbers than Mo Salah and Rafinha. Tell you what, lads, if Arsenal managed to land Victor Gyokeres this summer, it could be absolutely massive for us. The guy has been called world class by Noah McElroy, and honestly, when you look at the numbers he's putting up, it's hard to argue. His form for Sporting has been nothing short of outrageous. 48 goals banged in, plus 12 assists on top. That's 60 goal contributions in just 47 games. Let that sink in for a second. To put it in perspective, look at what some of the big boys are doing. Mo Salah, who's being tipped for the Ballon d'Or, has 32 goals and 23 assists across 47 games. Rafinha, 30 goals and 23 assists in 49 games. And yet, Gyokeres is matching, if not beating, them for output. Bringing in a striker with that sort of firepower would be an absolute statement. It's the kind of move that doesn't just strengthen your squad, it sends a message to the rest of the league. Arsenal mean business. If we can get this deal over the line, who knows? It could be the missing piece that finally pushes us all the way to lifting that Premier League trophy next season. Imagine Gyokeres in red and white, smashing them in at the Emirates. Chills, mate. Absolute chills. £40 million Arsenal player suggests his dream was always to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona. Arsenal are one of the biggest teams in world football, but even at that level, you're in danger of losing your star players. Indeed, while Arsenal are a top team, they're still not among the true elite class in Europe. Real Madrid and Barcelona often have their pick of any players in Europe. Trent Alexander-Arnold is set to join Real Madrid this summer and ditch his boyhood club, while Micah Richards reckons William Saliba will join Real Madrid at one point. Speaking on the big interview, Jurrien Timber has been discussing his path to stardom within football, and he says that he always had ambitions to play in the Premier League. However, Timber also suggested that he had dreams of playing for either Real Madrid or Barcelona, claiming that he fell in love with football watching El Clasico as a kid. The £40 million defender says he did always have an eye on playing in England, but he says that he also liked the idea of playing for one of the Spanish giants as he watched El Clasico when he was a child and was inspired by those titanic battles. Was it always your ambition to play in England? Timber was asked. Yeah, always. I think the Premier League, but to be fair, in my childhood as well, the El Clasicos made me fall in love with football. They were amazing. Messi versus Ronaldo. But the Premier League has always been the toughest and biggest competition, so it's been a dream to play here. Definitely, Timber said. Timber says that he liked the idea of playing for Real Madrid or Barcelona as a child, but in the same interview, the Dutchman admitted that he did grow up as an Arsenal fan. Indeed, Timber says he he supported Arsenal as a kid, while he also named Jack Wilshere as his favorite player growing up. Who was your favorite player growing up? Timber was asked. Can I say Van Persie? Or am I not allowed to say that? No, my favorite player was always Jack Wilshere. I loved to see him play. By far, actually. By far. But the moment you get older, you say it doesn't matter. As long as it's a big club, it doesn't matter. But with Arsenal, it's special. Timber said Timber may have dreamt of playing for Real Madrid and Barcelona as a kid, but he has now got his actual dream move as he's playing for his boyhood club, Arsenal. Ian Wright says he's been really nervous watching £27 million Arsenal player recently. Arsenal have been riding on a high these past few weeks after 2 incredible performances and results against Real Madrid. However, domestically, cracks are seriously starting to show at the Emirates. Indeed, Arsenal have won just 3 of their last 10 league games, and if Arsenal aren't careful, Manchester City could end up catching the Gunners. Arsenal drew with Crystal Palace this week, and speaking on the Wrighty's House podcast, Ian Wright has been reviewing this performance. The pundit wasn't all that impressed by what he saw from Arsenal in midweek, and he had a bit of a concern about David Raya. The £27 million man has consistently earned praise since joining Arsenal, but Wright says the Spaniard looked nervous and jittery against Crystal Palace this week. Wright shared his verdict on Raya's performance against the Eagles. Arsenal weren't at their best against Palace, and Wright says he did feel a bit nervous watching David Raya in this game. I thought David Raya as well. David Raya was a bit shaky, Wright said. I think, like I mentioned just now, I think David Raya had a little bit of a nervy vibe about him. I wasn't as, the way I said, Dave, what's happening? Just chill, man. What's going on? It just made me feel a little bit jittery in how he's playing a little bit. And then the tentative pass for me from Saliba in that particular area, it just felt like a little bit too. Hang on a minute. Arsenal will be hoping to make a bit of history towards the end of this season by winning the Champions League for the first time ever. However, if the Gunners are to win Europe's biggest prize, David Raya will have to cut these mistakes out. Indeed, when you look at the list of Champions League winners over the past decade, there's one through line that links almost every single one of these teams. They had a world-class goalkeeper. Thibaut Courtois is an incredible goalkeeper, while Alisson is perhaps the best in the world in his position. Edouard Mendy is perhaps the one exception to this rule, but even then, during that first season at Chelsea, Mendy was unbelievable. Raya is a top-class operator in goal, but whether or not he's at that level is still up for debate, especially after a few shaky showings as of late. Raya needs to step up and prove himself at the top level if Arsenal are to become European champions. And that wraps up today's biggest Arsenal news. If you enjoyed the update and want to stay on top of everything happening with the Gunners, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, Arsenal!